Welcome to Universal Class Read. I'm Key, and this is our class. So, we have masculine, feminine, soulmate, Key. Let's see what's been going on emotionally, energetically for the past couple of days, and what to expect. Well, really, what to expect from those couple of days in the now. God, Gaia, God, Goddess, Mother, Father. What is masculine, feminine, soulmate, key, present, in the now? What is masculine, feminine, key, present, gift, gifts, in the now? Let's see. There's still more shuffling. Hi, studio. How you doing? Can you hear me? Let me know. Okay. Oh, don't worry. You can always go back, studio. Thank you. You can always go back and listen to it when you have the time later, okay? Because it ties into exactly what we're talking about. Well, what might be talked about now, which is about passion. So let's see what's going on. Ah, passion was a little. Yeah, I'm sorry. Passion. What is passion? What I said earlier was passion to me is love. And if we know universally that love is a drug, why is it that we don't bring out that passion inside of us, around us, or the things that we want to do? And a lot of times it's a lot to do with the conflicting of experiencing doing those passions before and having to pull through at moments when it's hard to see the promise at times. Doesn't mean that the passion is false. It's just more of continuing. So, what do you think, guys? Because I'm about to put out these cards. Let's see. Emotionally, energetically. What can be done for masculine, feminine, soulmate? Wow. Yes. No. Okay. So, yeah, when it comes to no self control, right? Then is, I guess the question is asking, in what ways should we have control over our passions? Because a lot of times, what do we normally hear? Our passions can run away from us or run away. It takes a form of its own. So once our passion takes a form of its own, how do we control it without containing it or confining it? We are the creator of it because our passion requires us to react or respond to something or someone. Oh, and it's interesting you say that because I had to explain to my daughter. She asked me, "Well, what is gay?" I said, "Well, in when I grew up, which is in 1984, gay was considered happy. That's a word to say happy. I'm gay. I feel happy. I feel joyful. I feel cheerful." Along the way, that word got changed into talking about a person's sexual preference. And she said, "Well, what do you mean by that?" I said, "Well, gay in this time period is if you're a girl and you like another girl, and if you're a boy and you like another boy. That's what gay is." She said, "Well, how did people change gay meaning happy into gay meaning a preference or, meaning what you like in a person?" I said that's a good question. So a lot of times, I mean, that kind of discerns me when people use that word a lot. They don't sometimes. A lot of times, we as beings think that sex is having. A lot of times, people think sex is fucking. If you say I want to make love to you, they think that you're joking, or if that's even real. And then I used to get upset, and then my upset started to be discerned. Because I'm thinking, if you are love, because all human beings are love. Someone loves you. Someone is attracted to you. Someone admires you. Someone looks up to you. Someone wants to be just like you. So that means you are naturally, as beings, we are naturally loved. We exude love. Those dimensions, we explore that love. That's what makes us a being. And yet, at times, when we have to physically show that love to a person, is we have to ask the question, what has that person been exposed to? Have they just been exposed to this sex? Like, or have they been exposed to like somebody caressing them, someone looking at them, someone feeling the pulse when they enter and become one, like really being in sync with each other and going based on each other's rhythm, heartbeat, the way your body feels, like listening to each other physically. Maybe that person never experienced that, or if they have experienced it, they only experienced it once and they probably didn't experience it again. So they don't think that if they only experience it once in a blue moon, they might feel maybe that's only for a particular person that's going to show us that type of love, or that type of love during sex. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, studio. So, yeah, it's a lot of times, uh, and people always, people that know me, they would ask me, well, what is the difference between sex and love? I'm like, well, ask yourself, when you have sex, is it acrobatic? Is it like you're doing your own video? Do you feel like you're performing rather than being pleasured? If you feel like you're performing in a sexual act, then yeah, you just having sex. Yet, there's nothing wrong with just having sex. That's how we learned. We didn't just have sex with somebody, we had to first masturbate, ejaculate. Once we realize our own rhythm through our own ejaculation or masturbation, then we're trying to figure out how to get that same passion, that same feeling with another person's body. And a lot of times we're not taught that. We're taught to, the more clapping, the more noise you make, then that must mean that you're having sex or that you're making love. A lot of times it's not always the case. Do you both feel pleasure in the act? That's when you know, even when you're having sex. Sex is a beautiful thing. It becomes sad or distasteful when both parties don't feel that synchronicity together, that don't feel those same passions. And that's another thing, going back to love. So, let's see. Yeah. So it sometimes it's all about, how do we vocalize that? How do we talk about what pleases us, what makes us bring out our passionate side sexually? If that means me telling a person that I'm into, like I'm talking to someone now, and if I had to actually tell this person my passion, which I never did, in a more sexual way or in a loving way, I would actually have to admit that A lot of times I like to make love, and then I like that love to turn into sex. Sometimes I like to have sex and turn it into love. Or a better way to say it, sometimes I do like to feel the slow rhythm of each other's bodies. And sometimes I like to feel the bump of two bodies. So sometimes I like that rhythm when making love. And sometimes I like this. So it really just depends on how we describe it. Sometimes we think our person that we like, that we wanted to explore that realm with sexually, they don't know what we like. They don't know what gives us passion in that area. They don't know what gives us pleasure in that area. So, if we had to explain that. Yes, thank you. I definitely will. But I guess what is a boundary? What is a boundary when you're in a class? When you go to class, if I was to say we're talking about sexuality, would that have been a better suit? If I said that based on what we're talking about, what is it that you prefer as a passion to talk about? Then that would let me know as a person to another person your boundaries. Then you would have to know my boundaries. It's like two people coming together as one. You have your individuality and I have mine. What makes two people come together and unify is the way they are talking to each other, the way they present each other to one another. And a lot of times, we're not going to always see things that are pleasant or pleasing from that partner. Is that mean that we're going to punish them for that? Or that we're going to make them feel biased? Because at some point, we're going to have to show our passionate side. So I definitely understand. I have gone through what you just said all day today. Understanding people's boundaries, understanding people's passion, understanding it. But as I got to understand it, when I asked people, what did they mean by that? Can they break down that passion more? They pushed it to the side and didn't want to explain themselves. And I could have got upset about it, but it turned into discernment because I've seen this pattern before. I've been that pattern before. So then the question was to ask, what is the point? So I can get a more promising understanding. If I can't understand the person's point, it's like going into a water with no boat, with no life vest. So it ties into what we're doing right now. Soulmate has gotten the strength to see what they do want to become an engine in, what they do see in a masculine and feminine joining together, the day and the night, the light side of themselves and the shadow side of themselves. Those are two aspects of a being that people barely see. We are used to seeing, or soulmate was used to seeing maybe one side of themselves and then hid the other, or when they had the strength to show that side that does make them feel like what they're trying to endure and even embark on. When they brought that side out, they might have to disclose or hide another aspect. Now they're seeing as that strength that it takes both aspects of who they are to bring that finances that they were looking for. How does that emotionally makes the soulmate feel? The number two, like Studio and I were speaking on, standards and boundaries. When you really do know your standards and you know the boundaries or the bounds you would take for your values, then it brings out a whole different perception, even for the soulmate. So, soulmate had to review what they really do consider as their standards and values. Does it really connect to them, to the source inside of them? And are they open to reveal that side of who they are? Because soulmate is looking at a family dynamic. Even if they don't have children, they're looking at how would their standards and values translate to their partner, and how does their partner is a mirror image of those things that they hold as passion, that they hold as standards. And how does that relate to bringing up children or bringing up a family? Feminine. Feminine knows that they're bringing an empire. They're building an empire. They have been building an empire. Just like soulmate has been building their finance, him or her have been building their finances. And now they're seeing what they do want to bring to that table. So now with the feminine energies, like any empire, it's going to be conflicts. When you build something, that means you're passionate about it. And the feminine energy is passionate about what they're creating, what they're projecting out into the world. And like anything, when you see yourself as an empress, whether you are masculine and you have feminine energies, you're feminine and have masculine energies. When you are emperor or empress, then that means you see yourself and recognize yourself in a high light. That you know that you embody endurance, that you embody your empathy on what you are creating. And as they're communicating their passions, even to themselves, they have gone through some conflicts. Either just like the soulmate, in that tug of war of what they felt was a plan or a purpose, but when it comes to planting it or even bringing it up to root, it is conflicts with others about it. It's just like, yes, an empire. You have people that you're protecting, that you're governing. And when you are a protector of many people or a leader for many people or for the community in which people look at the feminine in that way, not all people are going to be excited about that. Some might feel like they should get that empress role. And that could be true. But the feminine is now face to face with, when you are of high standard, then it is people that's going to at times see if they can knock you down off your pedestal, or even to see if you even recognize that you're on a pedestal. How is that affecting the feminine? Well, the illusion of being trapped. This card came out before. When we feel trapped in the conflict, it feels like whatever we're saying as a passion, whatever we're pursuing as a passion, whatever we're doing as that thing as a passion, others may want to take that lead. And the feminine energy is coming to that conclusion that everyone is in their right in her atmosphere to think and to know that they can take that lead. But again, who created that atmosphere in the first place was the feminine energy. And she's realizing now that running away from people that may want your position or at times may want to steer you away from what gives you ambition, what gives you that passion, what gives you that love, comes with that. There's no way around it. Like any boss, like any emperor, like any ruler, it's going to be people that do not see your vision the way you do. Are you going to run away from them or stand your ground and see that you see how it went sideways? See that going to the right, you're taking the right road, the feminist's taking the right road. That a lack of self-confidence is no more. Because when your back is against the wall, you have no choice then but to push back or to stand up. Masculine. Scribe or writer, or scribe writing and drawing. Illustration. Masculine is realizing what he wants to give and receive when it comes to the arts. The masculine wants to give when it comes to the arts in the arena of publication, writing, journalism, blogging, illustration, animation, cinema, music, movies, anything that requires the masculine to write or sketch out what they're passionate about. That's what they want to give and receive. Why? Wow, 5 to the 8. Okay. This was in the other reading when it came to passion. Masculine, just like the feminine and soulmate, when we're stepping into our passion, when we're stepping into our purpose, when we're on that path, that in itself shows that we're taking the lead, and that's what the masculine is doing. But when we take a lead in the things that we love, again, a lot of people will be curious to ask, well, why are you making these changes now? You have been faced with this opportunity before and you never took it then. Why are you taking it now? And just like soulmate and the feminine energy, the masculine is starting to see that the competing goals that's always been in front of him in regards to the arts has been there since the age of 5 years old. It's been there 5 years ago. Even if they haven't done it in 5 years, the masculine just recently did or tapped back into the arts 5 months ago, 5 days ago. Now, if they have tapped into the arts of who they are 5 days ago, 5 months ago, then that would mean that they are changing their foundation. And when you physically change your foundation, when you physically move stuff around, like move things like I'm doing right now, that can create a problem, right? Any moment something can spill. Any moment, something could go over. And I know why I'm moving this table, to give an example. But someone else that comes in, they will probably look at the situation and say, well, why are you moving the table? You know, you could spill the candle, you could knock over your portrait of the archetype that you resonate with. Why would you risk doing that for an example? Because this is my table. These are all the things that are here. If I can't express an example, then again, what is the point? If I can't show, like the masculine is figuring it out, what are the faces of the changes I want to make in my foundation, then some people may see it as foolish. But if they seen it as foolish, if these are the other 4 people in the masculine's world that see his going forward in the arts as foolish, then he's probably thinking, or one of his thoughts could be, if these people are thinking it's foolish, why are they not facing me to tell me why they think that is? To tell somebody they're foolish to go after their arts, is that really helping? Or are you just trying to slow the person down from doing it? Are you afraid of them failing? Is that why you do not want them to make those changes? If the masculine energy knew that, maybe they could lean back, lean back for a second and say, okay, I can understand why you would say that, because that is actually quite possible. That's quite possible that I can actually fail when it comes to my passion and what I'm facing. But that's like anything I have done. When I took a job, I had to face a fear and wondering would the person that is interviewing me will hire me. Did that stop me from going to that job? No. Did it look foolish then? No. So is it really what I'm going after, or is it the subject in which I'm passionate about going after? Again, my phobia as the key use and at times is that when people go after the things they're passionate about, or go after the person they're passionate about, or go after what they feel passionate about, it is pleasurable, but it also can be painful. Because you got to go on a path in finding out what makes you feel that passion in that purpose. And a lot of times, I had to go through poverty, or I had to figure out, when not having much, how to keep going with my passion. And I do not take any of those things back, because it makes me even stronger in my pursuit in the now. But in facing those fears outwardly, I didn't want to do. It took a father figure, a masculine energy, to come in my life and in a way ask me, what am I passionate about? When I say the arts, and at that time I was not pursuing it the way I would want to, the next question the masculine asked me that I want to mate with was, oh, what are the steps that you're taking to do those things? Once that person heard what I wanted to do, the next thing he asked was, what are the steps I'm taking? And when I didn't know the steps I wanted to take, that created the fear. But I needed another person to find that out. Ah, you did, studio? Wow. And what is midnight pancakes? Is that an actual pancake? I would like to know. Because some people actually love to make pancakes. That's why we got a lot of Denny's, I think, does the pancakes. Other, even, what they call it, bed and breakfast, they do that a lot. So yeah. So let's see. So that's what the masculine is definitely going through. So yeah, say for instance, you did like to make pancakes, right? That's not foolish to do. That's not foolish to have as a thing you would like to face, a passion you would like to face. Because if we didn't go after the things that we are passionate about, then we wouldn't. I couldn't even give you an example of Denny's or bed and breakfast. Even what Roscoe's, they do what waffles and chicken. That's still another form of pancakes. Somebody had to think probably that person was foolish to even create that. But I wonder, did it really stop that person? It probably made them become stagnant for a minute, slow down for a minute to see how they had to really strategize on the next move. But to keep going, that was the whole point. I guess people might think it's foolish. Yes, people might think it's silly. Yes, people might think it's phony to even do it. But what do you feel? And the masculine is seeing that no matter what people say, he's going to make those changes. And everybody else will get online with it. Everybody else will get on board with that. They eventually will see. Because we could keep presenting it and keep talking about it. But until we physically do it, and even when we physically do it, to proclaim it, that's the third step. Like, yeah, you might have heard me talk about it. You might have seen me physically do it. But now I'm proclaiming it. So now there's no passivity on it. Even if a person wants to be passive, it would be kind of hard to do that because the masculine, feminine, soulmate, key is starting to see that what do you want to stand on when it comes to your passion? What do you want to stand on when it comes to what you pursue as a passion? What do you want to stand on when it comes to the thing that you're passionate about? Because the answer that we give ourselves when we ask that question to ourselves, when we are faced with people that want to challenge us, when we're faced with our negative self-talk on trying to stay stagnant, when we're trying to reevaluate and figure out things, when we're trying to figure out how to be that disciplinarian when it comes to the way we're going to direct ourselves, it takes you to have guts. It takes you to go inside your gut. That's our second brain. Sometimes I feel it's our first brain. Either way, we have more than one brain on our body. That if our gut says go and our mind says go and our soul says go, then we gonna go. Everybody that faces us or come at us will know how to handle it when that time comes. Until then, we gonna keep struggling along. So let's see what is going down emotionally, energetically, even further when it comes to becoming who we're about to be. Okay, masculine is, and we just said it, studio. We just felt it once. The masculine is seeing that no matter what, he's going to face it head on. He's going to become that chariot. He's going to be showing that he's very logical and level headed on why he wants to take this new lead or this lead that he's always been in pursuit of and in preparation for. So he's willing to face what he loves. He's willing to face what gives him that desire. And from that, he's going to expect a very important achievement. He's seeing that from his willpower on showing that he is willing to face whatever comes his way in regards to scribe writing, in regards to the arts, in regards to his passion. People are going to see that he's self-disciplined and he has that will. And for that, when we're physically pushing through, no matter what comes our way, it's other people that watch. We think as times that when we're doing something that we're the only ones that see that we're doing our own thing. But we had to go to a place to do that activity. We had to go to a person to do that passion. We had to go within ourselves to show what we're going to show ourselves outwardly in a physical manner that we're in the pursuit. And all that requires watchers. All that requires observers. And masculine is starting to see that. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to be faced with some adversities. That's going to happen. Am I still doing what I'm going to do? Yes. Then it's going to fall into place when it's the time to. Till then, I got to keep showing myself what I'm made of. Wow. The feminine is going within. Now, she is about to get victory. But before she gets that victory, she's going to have to go into those illusions of being trapped. Go into those 7 events that took place in her atmosphere before, where she felt by being her empress self that made her become trapped. Again, in order for a person to feel trapped, that meant that they experienced being trapped before in their atmosphere. So before the feminine energy can get that victory, like the masculine, and that public recognition, she's going to go inside, even how she communicates, and see when has it been events in her world, in her atmosphere, that made her become trapped. Was it times when every time she moved forward, it was people, places, and things that stopped her? Now she's going to have to do what Studio says, create a boundaries and understand what she's creating a boundaries for and why. So when facing her success or her steps in becoming successful, she'll recognize that every step she has taken is going to lead to her firm foundation, because as she's moving, she's building her foundation. As she physically making those things happen when it comes to communicating, when it comes to legality, when it comes to becoming a pioneer. She's doing all those things. Yet, one thing is stopping her is her facing the illusion of being trapped, because she experienced being trapped before. So it's something in her environment that is causing her to think or feel that she's trapped. And when we don't confront those things, meaning when we don't explain what our passion is or what our pursuit is in even more detail or with even more purpose, then it's going to feel that her fire is going down. And in order for her fire to come back up again, it requires her to have that self-confidence to see that she is the compass of her success, not anyone else. They add on to the direction in which to take that success further. But when it comes to actually embodying that part, that's the part that she is realizing is needing more care. So if someone comes to challenge her, it's like her self challenging her, this in another body. Anything that she suppressed and oppressed because of who she are as an empress, now she has to bring it out, or it's going to be presented to her outwardly. And this is the time for her to see how does she handle it as an empress. Determining how she handles it can turn this postponement of victory into a present presentation or a present proclamation of victory to her. soulmate. Let's see. So, like the masculine energy, soulmate is seeing that what they are reevaluating, the plans that they want to make when it comes to their passion, and the person that brings out their passion, they're being more logical on how they're going to take this lead with their partner or with the person that brings out that love inside of them on the outside. When more is going on than meets the eye, that means that either soulmate is communicating to 7 people in his or her world who they're in pursuit of, who they're passionate about. Out of the 7, 4 may actually understand why the soulmate feels connected to this person and wanting to make the next step. Or what could be happening to soulmate is once they're speaking to 7 people that may have wanted to have that type of relationship, that they chosen someone that they feel connected to, it may feel like a poor timing because everyone else in soulmate's life wants that person to choose them. But this person doesn't have just one person only to choose from. And I think that is the whole point of why soulmate was really relooking and revising. Again, renewal is another way of saying relooking and revising. And again, they did it spiritually. Now they're doing it in their communications. They're doing it how they do their actions. First they went up to their spiritual self to find out what is it that they have a purpose in and a point to make in their passion. Now that they're in their atmosphere, soulmate is communicating to people that may have a passion to be a partner with them, to explain that they do have someone that they truly want to partner with. And like anybody, when you have more than one option, they're going to make you feel like, oh, you're not making the right choice, it should be me. Or, oh, you're not making the right choice, it should be me. But if this soulmate if this soulmate actually told all 7 people, I was dating all of you guys and you were dating other people. So, and each one that you have dated brought out a passion within you. What did you really feel connected to? Did you really see that passion with both? And from these 4 other people in their lives, in the soulmate life, he or she is starting to see that, okay, soulmate is actually correct. See? Yeah, studio. Yeah. So I'm going to definitely see what is up with. Because, yeah, soulmate is definitely like feminine and like masculine. All 3 trinities is now standing in their passion and going forward in it. And we have stood in our passion before, but to do it full throttle may have been a while. Maybe the last time we fully stood in our passion and didn't matter or didn't care how other people felt about it was when we were 7 years old, when we were 6 years old, we were 8 years old. Have you noticed these are the ages where we're carefree? But at the same time, those are the same ages that when we're carefree, that's when we learn through others that something should be confined. And that's what soulmate feminine and masculine is going through. That the things that have once been carefree, and even a challenge then when we were young, is coming back full throttle because we're going back to the very thing that we have always felt passionate about. But this time, the only difference is not near one of the three are going to stop. Let's see if what I'm saying is matching. Self-employment. From masculine standing and facing and not turning back, but feel more supercharged to move forward. They become successful and self-employed. Successfully self-employed. And the luxuries that they always wanted to live through, they're able to do it. Why? Because they went and faced their passion head on. What they wanted to pursue head on. The person that brings out their passion, they wanted to partner up with, and they did. And they're going to go head on. Because now they're seeing that spending that quiet time that they needed. Again, yes, make that toothpaste. Because some people, and again, me as well, let me know through kikis.doorway@gmail, how much is your toothpaste going for? And what are the sizes you have? And do you have travel sizes, sample sizes? This is something I would like to know. Because one aspect I could tell you as a soulmate, feminine and masculine energy within me is I love to sing, but I'm also learning to look at the physical body. And for me, just like the feminine energies and what she's battling, I had to learn how to better take care of my gums and my teeth. Even though we eat food and we think that we're brushing correctly, and we are, and flossing, sometimes those things we're doing right, but it could be the paste that we're putting into our mouths. It could be the toothbrush, if it's hard or soft, that determines if it's helping. And the gums. Are we not just tending to the teeth? Are we tending to the gums? And for me to have severe gum disease, I had to learn how to, from my sister, how to do coconut oil pulling that we were talking about before, and how to use salt water to rinse out my mouth at times. Because sometimes I could rinse out my mouth with Listerine and it will get some of the food and stuff that I ate, but it wouldn't do it all away. Compared to when I gargled with salt water, it took everything that I was eating throughout the day out. So again, this goes back to the masculine too. What he is starting to feel and know, that going into the environment of the arts, going into the thing that gives him passion, partnering up with a person that brings out that passion of the arts, is going to bring him that self-fulfilling path. And for the masculine, it looks like self-employment. And he's going to get it. So let's see what's going on in the class. That's good. So yes, when you get the green light, definitely let me know. I'm definitely going to be one of those people interested in purchasing your toothpaste. So, from feminine, let's see. Wow. So, from her postponement on her victory, because she's going to get the victory, but she's having to face something that requires her to see what has made her feel exiled, what has made her feel that she had to endure things in her atmosphere to become an empress. What was that unevenness that did not feel right? So what she's doing is she's spiritually becoming awakened. She has the passion, she has the fire to pursue her passion, to pursue her purpose, to pursue her path. But if, again, she wanted to find out the point of it all, now she's becoming awakened. She's realizing she's got to be and pushing forward. When she is pushing forward, she's going to be tapping into a Piscean side of who she is. She's going to be looking at perceptions and perspectives in different arenas of her life. So that way, she can get that victory. She is probably starting to ask herself, what does she really feel aligned with? She has the passion, she has the path, the purpose, but she's now aiming for the point. That takes her spiritual side, she is realizing. Once she's aligned with herself spiritually or tap into her spiritual side, then she will be awoke to what has been weighing down on her, what has been washing her away from the thing that she wants to walk and wash towards. When she's doing that, she's seeing that she is, and she has to, like Soulmate and even Masculine had to do, take that temporary pause. When we do that standstill, it's not like we're stagnant, we're just standing tall. So at least she is standing tall in her beliefs and what she knows in her passion. Now it's about her just being herself overall. Maybe she hasn't been herself since she was 12 years old. That could explain why the illusion of being trapped. Because it's been so long since she felt like an empress, since she had embodied that empress role. Maybe she was bullied or punished for that. Maybe people didn't want to be in her partnership from that. Hold on for 1 second. Yes, my beautiful neighbor. So yeah, um, definitely, if this happened, yeah, this happened. If the last time she felt like an emperor, an empress, I should say, that may have caused her to pause for a second because she's being awakened to realize, oh, when I've had gotten pushed to the side or when I have gotten presented with conflicts in my life, it wasn't that I was doing something wrong or charging ahead. It could have been simply, am I vocalizing it if I just physically done it? Again, she's probably been communicating this, but now she doesn't feel the need to communicate anymore because now it feels like hot air. Like, no, I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of talking about my passion. I'm going to awaken and just do it. And if that means I got to stand still for a minute and witness and watch, how did I do it when I was 12 years old? How did I do it last year when, or 12 months ago, when I was fully aligned in it? How did I feel? What was I doing? What was the patterns I was taking? What were the steps I was doing? And from that, they're realizing, oh, there are steps I did take. There are moves I did make. So I'm going to go and restart those things again. When I do, I will get That six of air, like soulmate. Oh, I'm sorry. I believe, was it soulmate or masculine? I'm going towards the masculine. And I want to know why. Mm-hmm. Yes, because they were giving and receiving. So, feminine is realizing and witnessing in her world that in order for her, when she did tap, or when she did go back and look at how she was physically, emotionally, and how she pursued it, what was she physically doing to back up her words? She's going to realize, oh my God, these are things I implemented or have always did as a steps since I was 6 years old. It probably took the feminine six to show her passion in the world, pursue the passion in the world. And again, it's going back to her childhood. She was 6 years old when she brought out her passion to the world. By 12, she knew that meant she had 6 extra years to practice that principle and what she was passionate about. Who or what? She had to physically do this a lot in her world. When she did that, she got accolades for those moments. Now, you would think, well, if she got accolades and she got honored and recognized and became popular for her establishment, what made her stop? The same thing that got her the accolades and that popularity is the same things that got her or made her feel punished or pinned down to it. So she's trying to figure out, when faced in the world those similar things that she experienced at 6 and 12 years old, she can be able to maneuver and walk through it with more grace, more understanding, more forgiveness, and more wanting of that wander. From soulmate, showing that they're level-headed and logical on what they're leading, that makes him or her and that person's lover more in love with them. So soulmate has somebody in his or her midst that loves them or loves that person. Now they might be showing those aspects to soulmate's loved one. So after making that choice, how do you show someone passionately that you do love them? This goes back into the renewal and review. Once soulmate did review what it takes to truly love somebody and to be loved back, now they can move forward in that way with no doubts, with no confusion. Again, carefully weighing their decisions. They already had to go and come from a logical place. Now they're seeing, how does that truly work for not just them, but how does what they truly love in their passion also reflects their lover too. Because when we love something and our partner loves that same thing that we love or respects what we love and what we feel passionate about, it makes us feel more at health. It makes us want to become even more healthy so we can have that longevity to keep leading in that path. When soulmate is leading in that path with their loved one, they are going to have to walk away from something that they did feel passionate about. Because they already, again, they already walked those worlds before of feeling confused, of feeling connected but not fully connected, of feeling wanted but not all the way wanted. of feeling that wonder about themselves and having that wonder be weighed down or weighed to the side. Now they're touching on that aspect, just like feminine and masculine, and they're seeing that the missed opportunity was supposed to be missed because they it weighs on them too much. It's not in their, it's not what they want to forge to. It's not what they want to face. If they're going to face something, they're facing what they truly love, not what they like or what they kind of love. No, now soulmate is going towards what they truly love, what they truly feel passionate about. And at times that is going to weigh heavy because it's going to feel like you got to walk away from things in your world that at some point was a wonder to you, was a wanting for you. But now it's like a gum. When you chew gum, what happens? After a while, it gets too soft, too slimy, and it then becomes cookie. And then what do you have to do? As much as you like that flavor gum, you got to put it in the garbage or in the wrapper and chew another one. That's what soulmate is realizing. Like, I can keep going in those same worlds that I've been in when it comes to what I want, but I already know the endings and the play by play of what's going to happen if I go back to those things that I used to want but don't want anymore. I don't have that wanting desire to go to. So this is why it was explained why out of the seven, four people have to walk away. And soulmate is feeling that emotionally, energetically. Because when we give ourselves to people, it's not parts of ourselves. A lot of times it's our whole self. And people in our lives feel it, but they may have not realized it. Some people do realize it. So then when we walk away from them, their question is, why? And we can't give them a light answer. We would have really had to break down what made us want to walk away. And even while explaining that, that's going to be hard. Because it's like telling a person, I got to walk away from you. But it's not. I might have to walk away from this energy. I might have to walk away from our experiences together that we experience in the world. That doesn't mean I don't love you. That doesn't mean I don't value who you are. It's just right now, the walk that I'm about to head towards is something that you're not going to really feel connected to. Why? Because at times, soulmate might have exposed the four people in their world what they're passionate about, and they did see and hear their responses, which was not connective. So if soulmate had to go back to say, well, remember when we had this conversation? Remember when we walked in this world before? Remember how you really reacted? From you reacting, so what would make me feel that you can resonate? And the admit that it would be hard to walk in that new world with them. So in a way, yes, everybody involved is going to feel sad. But when you have the time to really look at what was being said and what was being done, all four people would actually understand that, oh, that person wasn't dissing me or saying that they didn't want me. They were just simply saying that the wants that they're going towards, I wouldn't be able to resonate with at the time. Doesn't mean that when I walk in my own path or my own emotions or what I'm passionate about, that I could actually understand what soulmate was going through or what they're going to have to face in their world, in this new world they're walking in. Masculine. Oh, and I got to pull a card for myself and read it out. 2-2. Look at that. Once masculine is seeing that they are going to become very successfully employed, a lot of things are going to be happening at once for them, because when you see a success in self-employment, that doesn't mean that the masculine energy is not employed. A lot of times when we're about to make a new step in our lives, it's not always going to be so simple. A lot of times it requires us to do another task. And masculine is feeling that in order for me to really embody successful self-employment, I would actually have to completely be self-employed. At some point, even the second job I have, I would have to let it go. Like Soulmate and even Feminine is experiencing. Is that going to be hard for the masculine? No, because they will have a very good balance on being able to what used to work for them and then go towards something that is really going to, yes, it's going to work for them, yes, but it's going to feel wonderful for them that it does work for them. Because again, they had to make a risk, they had to make a choice, they had to ask themselves, I see success in my self-employment. Do I really need a second job? Do I really need a second income when I'm successful in my self-employment? And they're realizing that they don't need a second job, that they're going to be able to take care of themselves, their family, and anybody that's in their environment in pursuing their self-employment. Sometimes that can be something that can become problematic or a problem solver. How to transition from working for a company into working for yourself. That transition can feel a lot uneasy if you haven't experienced that world before. But I feel the masculine, because he has self-employment and the two of earth, that he had experience in that field of being self-employed, yet to embody it fully, that is new for him, yet being self-employed is not. So what makes the masculine feel logical on his steps is he knows he's experienced being self-employed before, that he made his own business before. And like anything in our lives, yes, we have jobs and other avenues to get us where we pursue our passions. But once we pursue our passions and our passion is making us prosper, then we would have to let that second thing go. When that is happening, masculine will feel emotionally, energetically, that everything's going to work out in its own way, but it's going to work out. They're going to have trust and faith in that. For me to step into that role as a person that is taking the lead in their life and becoming more disciplined and becoming more combined with what I feel passionate about, that is bringing in the person that I do want to mate with. When they do come into my world next time around, they will ask me, what do I hold true and what I want to do in the world? And I'm going to be ready in answering the person I would like to mate with in more detail, and what I want to do, why I want to do it, and in what way. So there's no conflicts, but more a resolution. And by me walking and talking that walk as well, will make me and the person I want to partner with in my world, in this world, a more stronger bond. It will make us closer because I'm not hiding or filtering anything that I want to do. I'm not suppressing it or oppressing it. So, universe class, when you are passionate about what you want to pursue, about the person you want to pursue, about the thing you want to pursue, even in what you want to pursue within yourself, when you are openly omitting that aspect and really seeing how to physically do it. It brings in that collaborations that really do connect with our passion. It brings in the opportunity to talk about what has made us feel stagnant or stuck, or understanding, do we have that energy or thrive to start, to not only just admit the positive aspects of our passion, but to openly admit the not so positive aspects of our pursuits. Why we do this is because life experiences showed us that that's what is, and what makes us a leader, what makes us be looked at as leaders, is because at some point, even with the people we collaborate with, even with ourselves, our life experiences show us why we are seen as taking the lead. Because everything in our experiences have allowed us and showed us that we had to take a lead, to take initiative, to take a fall at times, and to even be embraced by it. But no matter what level we have experienced, the whole point is that we experienced it. And we have the receipts to show in a very logical manner why we do what we do. So, till we meet again, I love you, Trinity. But mainly, I love that we're pushing towards what we feel passionate about, that we're pushing towards understanding how to mend those pains, how to pull through, and see that we are our own proclamation. We are our own start and finish point. And when we are feeling and knowing that, whoever comes in our life, when we share that, when we show that, when we walk that, that person would not only be proud that they were allowed and able to walk that with us, but it makes them more prosperous as a person to know that they too are doing the same thing. Like likes like. Leaders like leaders. And that's what we're realizing more and more by tapping into that life experience. So thank you guys for being in the class. If this class connects with you in any shape or form, press the like button, share the class with others, and subscribe. If you'd like to know when I do classes, press the bell button so you'll be alarmed right then and there on the spot when I'm live, when I'm on air, to merge and magnify and become a magician in our own right, our manifestors in our own right. So thank you, studio. Thank you guys for being in the classroom. My voice sounds soft, but my passion runs very deep. And again, in this class, you'll be able to see those different dimensions. I don't want to ever have you feel like you can't be yourself and that I cannot be myself. So simply be you. I love that you are being you. Be you all the way. That's what makes you benevolent. That's what makes us divine. We will see you on the other side.